بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. النهي, and continuing with nahi, we have two things here: al-af'al al-hissiyya and al-af'al al-shar'iyya. Yes, whenever I do this discussion, I remember my teacher, Mufti Sulaiman Sahib. So whenever we did Noon Anwar in the fourth year, so when we Noon in the fourth year, I used to get a lot of hay fever. So I used to always sneeze a lot, and especially in the afternoon when it's in the springtime. In the spring, so I used to sneeze a lot, and many days I would take permission in the afternoon and just go to sleep because it just hay fever, my eyes are watering, sneezing a lot. And he was in charge of permission. If you ask him permission, he gives permission to miss class a few things. And he also taught us Noon Anwar. So he would go. I never used to, he knows that I was genuinely sick. You see, my eyes are red and full of water, and I'm sneezing. So he used to take permission. So one day I sat in a few classes and I said, "Can I have permission to please go to class?" He said, "No." I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, he goes, "No, sit in class." And I was like, "But I'm not feeling." He said, "Sit in class." I was like, "All right." And then he had this lesson because it's a bit detailed. So he taught the lesson, and after he taught the lesson, he said, "Go. You can go." So he taught me this lesson, and then he said, "You can go. You're not feeling when you go." But he made sure that I attend this lesson because it's quite complicated. This masala. So he taught us النهي والأفعال الشرعية النهي والأفعال الحسية, and I came in an exam. And I got 50 in that exam. And then he gave me one of his he got short of Noon Anwar. It's called, I can't remember what it's called. I don't have it now. It's in Barbados when I took it Barbados. So he gave me that as a gift because this exam came and I wrote that question to that نهي والأفعال الشرعية in the exam, and I wrote it well in Arabic. So then he gave me this as a prize. Yes. Anyways, so let me reward him. فالنهي نوعان. There are two types of nahi. What is the types of nahi? One is nahyu an af'al hissiyya. The af'al hissiyya, كالزنا والشرب الخمر والكذب والظلم. Things whose occurrence depend on facts, things you can touch, you can feel, you can if I said, for example, don't hit. So that's hitting is what? Hiss. How can you notice these are actual actions that you carry out? Are you following? Like zina, something you do. Shurb al-khamr, something that you do, you drink, you taste. Kadhib, something that you say. Dhulm. These are all things that are hissan. You can sense them or feel them. Okay? Hukmuhu. يكون المنهي عنه أينما ورد عليه النهي. The thing that is being prohibited is the actual thing which the nahi has come about. Okay? For example, لا تقربوا الزنا. So the nahi is actually on the zina. فيكون عينه قبيحا. So this all become what? قبيح لعينه. Yes? ولا يكون مشروعا أصلا. This is what? قبيح. This is going to be what? قبيح لعينه عقلا or وضعا. Yes, because his son. So this is what? نهي لعينه وضعا. There's a slight difference in opinion regarding this. If you learn this detail, inshallah, if you do Husam, you'll see the slight difference of how I explain. But for now, this is enough. فَيَكُونُ عَيْنُهُ قَبِيحًا. It's قَبِيح لِعَيْنِهِ وَلَا يَكُونُ مَشْرُوعًا أَصْلًا. Zina, shurb al-khamar, kadhib, dhulm. They never ever, they have no mashru'iyya. It's never part of the sharia. Are you following? Now you understand this better when we come the next one. والنهي عن الأفعال الشرعية. والنهي عن الأفعال الشرعية. Okay? What are we saying here? Like نهي عن الصوم في يوم النحر والصلاة في الأوقات المكروهة. When you have a nahyu, the second time is nahyu عن أفعال الشرعية. Shari'i actions. These shari'i actions are prohibited. Like for example, fasting on the day of Nahr, on the day of Eid al-Adha, or performing salah in awqatul makruha. Yes? These are called what? Af'al al-shar'iyya. What's sawm? Is that, yes, even though you abstain from eating and drinking, when does your sawm become a sawm? If the sharia says it's a sawm. When does your salah become a salah? If I do like this, if I do like all these different things, and the faqih says, no, mufti says, no, that's not counted as a salah. Like the sharia determines whether it counts or not. That's called af'al al-shar'iyya. You following? So sawm, salah. So if it's a shari'i action whose validity depends on the sharia, and the sharia says don't do that, then this is called what? النهي والأفعال الشرعية. Let me explain a bit of detail here. We have Monopoly. Everybody play Monopoly? Everybody's busy watching TikTok. You play Monopoly for? What do you buy? Which favorite color to buy? Huh? Yellow. Yellow is not good to buy. Orange is the best. Who said orange? That means they're good at Monopoly. Orange is the best one to buy. Yellow, this is good, but not initially. Primarily buy this one. These are the best. Statistically proven, this is the most likely to land on. So you don't have to Monopoly. You're not good at Monopoly. Yes? Okay. Anyways, now we play Monopoly. And if I make this rule, Monopoly is basically arbitrary rules, isn't it? That we decided that if you throw this number, you have to move this number of places. If you land on this one, then you have to pick up the card and you will follow those rules. Yes? So if I said now, and the rule is you have two dice or die. You have two of those throwy things. Yes? Throwy, ma'na, maf'ul. Mathruun. Yes? We have two dice you have to throw. Now, what's the total number of the dice? 12. If I say this is the rule, whoever rolls a 13 must pay £500 in wherever, to the bank or to somebody. What would this be? What kind of ruling would this be? Yeah, like, this is low. Why? It's useless. Why? You can't throw 13. So why say whoever rolls 13 must pay £500? If I said, do not place two hotels on a single property, what would that mean? If I said, don't do this, what would this mean? That it's possible. I'm saying, don't do it. You get what I'm saying? So when we have something not hissan, is a rule set up arbitrarily like a game, or rule set up by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not hissan. Like, why is Hajj valid, not valid? Why is Tawaf valid, not valid? You go around, so you don't have wudu, not valid. So those Allah's, those are Af'al al-Shar'iyya. The Tawaf itself is not going to have niyyah. If you're guarding the haram and there's somebody running around, you run around 7 times behind them trying to catch them, no Tawaf, there's no niyyah. So these are rules set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not hissan. Tawaf is not fi'l hissi. Tawaf is a fi'l shar'i. Has niyyah, tahara, etc. Takbir, etc. So when we have shar'i ruling, that's basically meaning rules set up not hissan, like this. If you say don't do something, or we put a rule down which can't happen, it's like, what's the point? It doesn't happen anyways. If you rule 30, you have to pay 500. What's the point of having that rule in the game? Are you going to use 3 dice? Or you have some kind of new dice which have 7 and 7s and 7, get 40 maximum? It's no point. So when the Sharia is not based on his, Sharia is based on its own rules. Are you following? So this rule is useless. Because you can't roll 13. If you say don't do this, that means that there's a possibility. If you say in our game, we say, well, today we're playing our own game, and in this game you're not allowed to put down 2. That means that it's possible to put down 2. That's the only reason that you have a rule that says this. You understand? So you only prohibit something which is possible. Are you following? And to give you an example, if you take a fi'l hissi, I said, I'm going to the bathroom right now. Make sure do not eat the smart board whilst I'm away. Yes? You say, well, I can't eat the smart board. Why are you saying don't eat the smart board? That's kalam is laghwa. So if I tell you to do don't eat the smart board, it's like, I can't do that anyway. Why are you telling me that? If I said don't eat the chocolate, that would make sense. Because that's mumkin. Do you understand? Yes? So when we say the fi'l al-Shar'iyya, and the Sharia says don't do that, that means what? That means what? That this is hasan bi nafsihi qabihan li ghayrihi. And therefore, if you do it, it's mashru. It will have validity. So we sing here, يَكُونُ الْمَنْهِيُّ أَنْهُ غَيْرَ مَا أُضِيفَ إِلَيْهِ النَّهْيُ. We will say that the manhi anhu, the actual thing that is being prohibited, is not the thing that is being prohibited, it's the ghayr. For example, do not fast on the day of Eid. What we're saying here, that the hukam, the nahi is not on the fasting, the hukam is on the what? Yawm al-Eid. Do not perform salah muhdithan. The salah, the ruling is not on the do not perform salah, the ruling is on what? Muhdithan. Are you following me? Understood? Yes? Ji. You following? وَيَكُونُ الْمُبَاشِرُ مُرْتَكِبًا لِلْحَرَامِ لِغَيْرِهِ لَا لِنَفْسِهِ. And whoever carries out these actions, what will happen now? He will be a person who has carried out a haram لِغَيْرِهِ لَا لِنَفْسِهِ. You're not done haram لِنَفْسِهِ, he's done haram لِغَيْرِهِ. Are you following me? Is this clear so far? The person who carries out the action. The person who carries out, who's culpable of this, he's murtakib. So the person who does the action, the doer that does this action, he's guilty of is guilty of doing a haram لغيره, not a haram لنفسه. Are you following? Ji. Understood? Ji. Now, what is this now? Based on this, the fa'idah. حرمة الفعل لا تنافي ترتب الحكم عليه كطلاق الحائض. What do we say? So basically the rule is, when you have a nahy, the rule that we've said is النهي عن الأفعال الشرعية عن الأفعال الشرعية it becomes النهي لغيره. Okay, then we have this rule. But if you have الأفعال الشرعي, that means that why? The same way if I said to you, if you roll, don't roll 13. That means that what? Does my statement have any value? Why is it possible in the first place? No. So what we're saying here is that if you have أفعال الشرعية, yes, but these أفعال الشرعية are based when it's منهي عنه فعل شرعي, it's نهي لغيره. Correct? It's just haram. You get sin. But the asal nahi is the ghayr, not the asal. And the asal will count. If the asal doesn't count, there's no point in saying don't do this. The same way if I said don't eat the smart board when I go to the washroom, then you say, well, I can't eat it anyway. Why are you telling me this is useless? My nahi will have to be something which is possible for you to do. So if the Sharia says don't fast on the day of Eid, what does that mean? When does fasting actually exist? When the Sharia says it exists, isn't it? If the Sharia says that if you fast on the day of Eid, it doesn't count, that would mean that saying don't fast doesn't make any sense because you can't do it anyways. There's no taklif in this. You're not mukallaf. When the Sharia says, you get it? Are you following me? So when the Sharia says don't do something, that means it has to be in your capacity to do it. Otherwise, that would be a laghwa. You're given an issue, you're given a command or a prohibition for something you can't do anyways. So if we have a prohibition and the prohibition is not possible, what's about prohibiting? The government imagine you have a debate in parliament saying that should the British citizens be allowed to walk on the cloud or not? So we're wasting our time. Why say this? We can't walk on the cloud. We can't get there. So when we say do not fast on Yawm, how does that mean? Don't fast. If you fast, you're sinful. It's haram. You will disobey Allah. Allah's displeasure will be upon you. However, if you fast, what will happen? It has to count. Because if it doesn't count, you can't do it anyways. If I stay hungry the whole day, it doesn't count. So I can't do this nahi. So there's no point in giving this nahi. Do you understand? That would mean it's nafi. It does not count. Not a prohibition. Do you understand? Does it make sense? So therefore, what do we say? If a person gives, so what's the ruling? Are you allowed to give your wife talaq in hayd? Yes or no? You're not allowed. Is it haram? It's haram. It is wrong. Talaq al-bid'ah. It is sinful, etc. But if you do it, it's counted. Why? Because النهي عن الأفعال الشرعية يقتضي مشروعيتها. When Sharia says don't do it, meaning what? Allah is saying لا تقربوا الزنا. Zina is a possibility for you. This is your taklif. This is your challenge. This is your test. You have a choice. Don't do it, you'll be rewarded. Do it, you'll be sinful. I am telling you something that's in your capacity and your ability. I'm telling you, don't do this action. لا تقربوا الزنا. لا تكذبوا. لا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق. All of these commands are there because you can do them. The Prophet ﷺ said, do not give a woman talaq in her hayd. It means it's possible. If you do it, it will count. So therefore, do not do it. This is your test. And the Shawafi have a different way of approaching this. This is the Hanafi philosophy. Yes? An action being haram does not negate tarattub, negate the thamara, do not negate rulings based upon this. So if you give talaq in hayd, what will happen? It will become what? It will be what? Valid. But it will be sinful at the same time. So if you go over here, this chart, it has a bit more detail. It can be adjusted according to different books. But for now, it's here. manhi anhu, we've done this before. We say all of these are what? Af'al al-Hissiyya. Regarding if this Af'al al-Hissiyya or not, it's, yeah, that's a bit of a thing here. And these are Af'al al-Shari'iyya. This is not really, and again, this is a bit of discussion, but this make it easier. So these are all Af'al al-Shari'iyya. Qabih li ghayrihi is what? Af'al al-Shari'iyya. Yes? And it's better to probably say what? This is Af'al al-Hissiyya. But don't worry about too much. This is Af'al al-Hissiyya. This can be Af'al al-Shari'iyya as well. Probably this probably go over here better. Probably should be adjusted. So what we should do is really, probably, better way of doing is what? Af'al al-Shari'iyya is what? Then here. And this is what? Af'al al-Hissiyya. So this readjusted, I'll readjust it in PowerPoints, but keep it as that. Are you following? But the texts are not that clear in this one. Does everybody understand? Any questions? G. So to summarize, what we're saying here is that Af'al al-Shari'iyya are those things whose existence depend upon Shari'i definition, Shari'i rules. And Af'al al-Hissiyya are things which exist because they exist. Like darb exists because it exists. I punch you and it's a darb. There's no Shari'i rule. Well, this is called a darb. So if I punch you in your right cheek, it's not a darb. Punch you in your left cheek, it's a darb. If I don't do niyyah, it's a darb. If I have niyyah, is ma'foon. And what in Af'al al-Shari'iyya, going around the Kaaba with intention, starting here, finishing here, with tahara is called tawaf. The Sharia fixes its wujud. And Af'al al-Hissiyya are things which wujud are independent of the Sharia. They exist without the Shari'i definition. Okay? Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.